about Swiss cheese and cottage cheese.
Well, we'll talk about it then. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is my distinct honor, privilege, and just makes me all giddy inside to allow you, for those who don't know who she is, to understand who she is and to find out a little bit about why I'm so passionate about supporting her, watching all her stuff, being on her list, which you can do, and I will post on the ddtwakeupcall.com/live page with all of her stuff, so you can go follow her blog, social media, all that good stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I introduce to you Miss Diane Hochman. We need a woo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I feel like I'm on Wonderama or something from back in the day. It's like, cool.
Yeah, don't hate on me, but I actually stole that from Greg Gomez.
Well, I think it came from, see, I'm much older than you and Mr. Greg, but it came from a children's show, and so it's bringing me back to being a little girl there. I like it.
I think it's special. Just something kind of cool about it. Now, for those that are on here that are watching, we are going to do something a little different. It's not really, there's no opportunity. There's no program we're pushing. We're just out here to have fun and enjoy our time and learn a little bit about what makes this lady so awesome. Got a few cheese questions that people do want to ask you, so I will ask that for a little bit. But let's start off with a little bit about who you are and how you came into this industry.
I was the girl who didn't want a business and wasn't looking for a business, Jeremy. I bought a product from my husband's cousin, and it worked very well. And he invited me to come to a meeting, and I thought I was going to a Weight Watchers meeting to discuss my feelings and why I ate late at night and all that other good stuff. And I went to the meeting, and I thought we were all going to talk about this stuff, and it turned out to be an opportunity meeting. And I sat in the opportunity meeting, and I went, this is it. I have found it. I'm going to change my life, because we were deep in debt at the time. And I paid $72.95 for my business in a box with a check that I couldn't cover that I had to run to the bank on Monday morning to get money into the bank. So I was not looking for a business. I had no interest in a business. There's probably nobody on the face of the earth that could have recruited me except my husband's cousin, because he was the only person who I thought had it worse than me. And then I saw all the stories, and that was it. It was over. That was '99 when I started my business. In fact, October 4th is my 15-year anniversary. Get ready to party.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is crazy. I can't believe it's been that long.
So, honestly, what was it that made you want it? I know he had it worse than you and the support, but I mean, what was it that really solidified it once you did it to make you stay 15 years almost?
Well, in the beginning, it was two things. One, we were broke and we needed the money because I was home with my kids. It was very important to me to be home with my kids, so I had stopped working. And so I didn't have my income anymore, and I needed a way to make some extra money. David mumbled in a conversation. He said, I'm paying my mortgage with the extra money. And he had a great job, so it wasn't that he needed the money. He's a six-figure earner in his regular job, but it was just kind of happened to him. And he said, I'm paying my mortgage, and I thought, well, we could pay off our debt. And then it was that meeting and going to those meetings, Jeremy, because I kept seeing people, and no offense to anybody, but I kept going, if that dude is making 15 grand a month, I'm getting rich. If that chick over there is making, 25 grand a month, I'm getting rich. Because they all seemed so not smart. And I mean that like with all due respect, because obviously they were very smart to have built a team that size, but I didn't know at the time. They just were simple people. They were not really well spoken or slick or fancy, and I thought, I can do this. Why am I still here today? Because I figured out that I could have the chance to impact thousands and thousands and thousands of lives. What kind of cup do you have? What's on your cup?
Oh man, don't embarrass me.
Come on, I saw a cartoon character. I knew it. I thought it was going to be.
I'm sorry, Chip it.
That's a daddy. I love daddies. I have downstairs. I have some Powerpuff Girl ones. We could clink glasses with those.
We got those. It's plastic.
Yeah.
I'm drinking I've got a cold, man. My allergies are killing me right now. Yeah. So I got a little bit of an energy drink inside with the emergency packet.
Yep.
So it's like a double boost of vitamin C.
Good.
I'm getting ready to get into an airplane, and I don't want to go up there with my ears popping.
No. Ow.
That's never a good, never a good thing.
No fun.
So our sponsor today are the Chipettes. They're
there you
nice
go.
and pretty, and They
They are
like
very cute. I am not terribly familiar with them. Those are the female chipmunks, I'm guessing?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I don't know their names. I can't remember.
Chipmunks need babes.
Yeah.
Alvin needs a babe, of course.
And they're both and she's hot. I mean,
I,
look at her.
exactly. Exactly. They can sing. They got talent. Come on.
I love it. So, really thinking about it, as many years as you've been here, and you've been around the block and you've seen people come and go. We were just actually talking about that a little bit. What would you say, honestly, would be the biggest reason people don't succeed?
The biggest lack of consistency.
There's many reasons, but the biggest.
Well, I think that everybody, when they get into the industry, they get on a roller coaster, and they get on a roller coaster where they just go up, and it's very thrilling and exciting, and then they get up here and they're a little abusive, and then they go down, 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 down. And then other people just sit still, right? Because they don't do anything. So one guy is working, and then something comes, a program does something funny, or he's chasing the magic bullet. So he goes up and then he goes down. Other guy just sits still. He sits on the park bench doing nothing. Me, I think I got, it's consistency, Jeremy. It's just consistency. Everybody wants to get rich quick, and getting rich quick means a lot of things. There's a lot of repercussions to that thought process. So that's why people go.
That's actually
even people who have done really well and made a lot of money. I call them the flavor of the month. No. If I were to sit and look at 15 years, which I would never name names or anything like that, but if I were to sit and look at 15 years, I can always pick them and I can always predict that they'll be gone, and they always are. And I could sit and name all the people that have, I mean, even people who have owned programs and been like, and were driving the slick cars. Too quick. Too quick.
We actually talked about this the other day because a lot of these people, they have a job mindset coming into it, but they don't use the job mindset to work it.
That's a great point. That's a great point. The employee mentality can hold you back, but the employee mentality can also propel you forward in a way, because if you looked at it like your job. Good point. Really good point.
It's one of those catch-22s, because you hate to say that, because then people are like, well, it's just a job. But, I see a lot of people that they work a job, and if I tell them what to do, like this, then they'll do something. But if I don't tell them, they don't do anything. So, in going back to the whole get-rich-quick thing, it's not a lottery system. No. And I see so many people that come in thinking of the lottery system, and they hit it really big, really fast, and then they're gone. Because they didn't actually build a business. They jumped in on something, it crashed, it burned, and then there was no value to reciprocate to the space once whatever happens. And I won't mention names. But.
Well, it's what it is about, Jeremy. It's about you can end up at the right place at the right time with a skill set that happens to lean towards something. And in social media, I've been there since the beginning of social media. So I've watched it. There's been people that have ridden a wave, like when video was brand new or different things were brand new. Somebody can ride a wave, but then when the wave, waves crash, right? The waves go, up, like think about surfing, and then a wave crashes. When the wave crashes, because it becomes common, like when I first started doing video, there were like 6 of us in the industry doing video, and you'd put up a video, you'd wake up in the morning, you'd have 3,000 views. I became a household name in like a month during that time period, and it was very exciting, it was very wonderful. But if I didn't have any foundational skills to back it up when that wave crashed, and of course it did, I mean, video is still very important today, but video is not like it was. We're in the stage of audience building today, as opposed to before. It was you could get ranked, you could, somebody would search MLM, and there were only 6 of you, so you were the information source. Today it's more about building an audience. But if I didn't have any fundamental skills to fall back upon, I would have been gone too. And we see a lot of people from that period, different periods. I remember when WordPress came out. WordPress, if you had a WordPress blog, or you knew how to install WordPress before there was a one-button install, you were the king or the queen. You could charge $2,500 for a blog. I used to call them the magic blogs. It's $2,500. It's the magic blog. It's going to make you rich.
That's
Now,
actually how
even
I got into
Hochman,
it.
even a digital dingbat can install a blog. So,
Yep.
so if Hochman can do it, you know that wave is over. So,
It's actually kind of funny because that's how I got into the industry, was through web design and graphic design.
mhm.
I did a website for somebody, and I just thought it was kind of interesting how they were making money from home on the internet. And I'm like, I'd been in a couple big companies that were offline that I thought were really cool, but it was just way too big of a price point for me to believe in, I guess. But I saw it and I was like, man, something about that's kind of cool. I
Yeah.
like that. So going back to what you said, not having something to fall back on.
Mhm.
Should you have to start all over again from square one, knowing now what you know, where would you start as a beginner? What would you first do?
Build a list. Build a personal list, not a list that's cold traffic. Jeremy, I teach this day in and day out, and people like roll their eyes at me because they think it's so goofy. I would get an autoresponder. You don't even need a capture page. And I would start my own newsletter. That was me sharing great information with people. And every single person, this is part of how I do it. Every single person I meet, when we have a conversation about business, I say, hey, I have a great newsletter. It'd really help you out. Sounds like it would be useful to you. Can I put you on it? See, that's old school networking, but I'm not selling anything except selling myself and getting their time. And if I had to start all over again and I had no money, and all I could afford was a couple of bucks a month, the $20 for an autoresponder would be the thing. And with an autoresponder and starting to build that audience, you could make a full-time living very quickly without a lot of muss and fuss. So it's your connections and your the people you meet and being able to put them in one place so you can communicate with them in bulk, I think, is the most important thing that people don't take seriously and don't understand. And if you look around, the biggest earners are people that have lists of people that would follow them to the ends of the earth. And the list doesn't even have to be that big, and that's the thing that people don't really understand. They think you have to have 4 million people. If you can get 1,000 people that know, like, and trust you and actually open your emails, not every single day because they won't, but if you can get 1,000 people on that list that actually know you, you're full-time, period. You're not rich. You're not rich. You're not living on a yacht, but you're full time. You can earn a full time living that way. So that's what I would do.
Yeah, you'd be. Somebody actually messaged me. Yes, we are recording this. It's a Google Hangout, so it is going to be recorded. So don't worry about it. And I got yelled at today, and you're probably going to roll your eyes because I didn't do a capture page anything to this. And somebody asked me why I wasn't collecting emails, and I said, well, honestly, I didn't think about it. I didn't care enough about collecting emails, and you say that, and now I'm like, I bet you're going to smack me.
No. I'm not rolling my eyes because here's the thing, Jeremy. When you're Jeremy, okay, everybody, I mention your name, I go, Jeremy, you mean BigChips? I'm like, yeah, BigChips. When you're building and have built an audience like you have, you were just coming in service today. We're just here to kick back and chat a little bit and serve people. So there was no big need to, guys, if you're watching this and you're not on Jeremy's list, find him on Facebook or write him an email right now and say, man, I need to be on your newsletter because you dish out good stuff. If you're not on my list, Jeremy will tell you later how to be on it. I'm not here to cajole you and write some sexy headline, about why you need to be on my list. If somebody delivers quality like Jeremy does, he doesn't have to grind like other people do.
You know what? Put in the little chat thing up there in Google your autoresponder email.
How do I do my little chat thing?
Top left corner, little blue box.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm used to using
type that in, and I'll paste it on the page because I'm gonna put all your social media stuff on there anyway.
Okay. Is it okay? I want your permission. I have 2 things that I'd like to tell people about. I have one, my regular newsletter, which is really cool. It's just me sharing training and content and ideas. And yes, offers. But then I have a new project that I'm working on. I don't know if you heard about it. It's called the Mentorship Letters. It is just mentorship. So there's the, I'm sorry, I'm logged into the wrong, I'm logged into the wrong YouTube channel. I'm sorry, the logo is coming up, guys. I run trainings for a bunch of different companies, and one of the companies that I run a training for, I think I'm logged in as them right now to the YouTube channel. So I apologize. That's why I turned off my lower third, Jeremy. I didn't realize I was logged into that channel.
It's all right.
So guys, hey, if I change this now, will it change? I don't think it will.
No, you have to log out probably.
Sorry, it's my fault. That was not intentional. I just happened to be logged into their channel because I run their Hangouts for some of them. So, sorry.
Okay, no,
I was really, again, ask Jeremy if, I mean, he has all kinds of stuff. So, but the mentorship letters, that is blank email. Well, you can just go to the mentorshipletters.com. It's just as easy. That one, that is literally just mentorship. I mean, once in a blue moon, I might invite to a webinar from that or something like that. But that's like, I'm not writing that daily. That's just stuff from over the years that I put into just a thing, and I'm writing hundreds of letters to fill that thing up. So it's going to be one of those things that people can sit on for years, just as service to the industry. So the mentorship letters, is pretty cool. In fact, if you guys go there and grab that first letter, read the first letter, and you'll either dig it or you won't. And if you dig it, hang out, and if you don't, unsubscribe. Because I'm very, a mentor pushes you to be the best you can be. So I'm pushing on people in those letters, and I'm making them question their behaviors in those letters. So they can be kind of intense. They're kind of fun, but they can be kind of intense. So it's not for everybody, but if it is for somebody, it will really make a difference for you. So sorry about the logo.
Don't worry about it. They're going to know who you are. And that's,
they can figure that anyway. I'm one of the top 3 people or 4 people, whatever it is, over at that particular place. So I just run a lot of their trainings.
Yeah, the thing of it is here's the deal, folks. I've been following this lady since I got in, 3-4 years ago when I really started pushing online, and I've not bought one thing in that company. But yet you can still build friendships. You can still build.
I don't think we've ever done business together, have we, Jeremy?
I don't think we have.
No.
Well,
you were with Lisa, so you weren't with me. So no, yeah, I don't think we technically haven't done business together. But that's okay, because here's what I know. Over time, the old saying, the cream always rises to the top. So what happens is over time, the leadership draws together, and they either work together or they support one another. So I never really worry much about that.
I mean, and it's all value, and that's the beautiful thing. And people get so scared. And I can tell by the way you're apologizing because you're worried that you offended. But trust me, I could care less. Anybody that watches this,
but I don't want somebody to think, oh, this is what they're. No, actually, he's not involved in that, and that's not where we're up. Because people get like that. You ever see them? They're like, oh, I knew it.
No, I know.
I knew it.
Every day. I knew they were going to try to sell something to me. See, it's subliminal.
What
you know what? I'll cut mine off because I've got my team on there, so I'll cut mine off too.
Jeremy, you know what we're going to do? We are going to sell them something. You ready? We're going to sell them back to themselves. We're going to sell, but it's your webinar, so you can have your team there, and it's your webinar. You know what I mean? If it were my webinar and you were putting your links all over, that would be funky. It's your webinar. Guys, we're going to sell you back to yourself. We're going to talk to you about, how to be large, how to be, strong and like a rock, and how to go out there and attract people to you, how to get people to just want to, I always call it eat out of the palm of your hand, how to get people to want to throw credit cards at you, but mostly how to get people to want to come around and hang out with you. Because if they want to hang out with you, if they trust you, they're going to buy from you because you buy from people you trust. They're going to hang out with you. They're going to, it's just a magical shift of thinking. When you hit that plane, it's a higher plane. Not too many people run on it. We do. And we'd like to invite you to come on up, get in your helicopter, and come on up and hang out with us up here. It's pretty fun.
It's a great mindset shift, and that's what people lack is the belief. And it goes back to that whole job mentality thing that people struggle with. Is they look at it as they don't look at it as a job. That's the problem. But they come from that job where everything sucks. They're not making money. There's no way of moving up in the world. So they look for that lottery ticket instead.
But isn't that messed up, Jeremy? I'm going to rant. I'm being so rude. But I can't help it because I was thinking about this today as I was driving. I was driving back with my daughter. We were away for the weekend. And I kept saying to her, we got to get back because I'm hanging out with Jeremy today. Let's go, let's go. And I was thinking, we were driving, it was a really beautiful day, and the clouds were just stunning and everything. And I was thinking, what happened to America? And all respect, due respect to anybody, from Canada or any UK or wherever you're from, especially this time slot, we might have some Europeans on, because it used to be you came here and you said, I'm going to work hard and I'm going to make something better for my family. And that's what our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, depending on how many generations you've been here, and people still come to America every single day looking to build something for their family. But somehow over several generations, a whole bunch of people started to get really entitled about, they don't pay me enough, they don't do enough for me, they don't this, they don't give me that, and get that lottery mentality. There was never a lottery 100 years ago, 150 years ago. There wasn't a lottery mentality. It was an opportunity mentality, right?
Exactly.
It was, I have an opportunity. So when I hit this industry, one of the reasons why I did so well so quick, and I wasn't doing like $1 million, but for a housewife I did well, was because I just always thought I had bought myself a business. And so if you have a business like a shop, you set yourself up, you put your wares out, and then you open your doors, and you do everything you can to get people to come in so you can service them and get them hopefully as a regular customer, like a little general store back in the day. You'd get people to come in your store, and you'd have a relationship, and they'd come in, and you'd know their name. And you'd say, hey, what do you need today? And you'd get it for them. Now everybody's just like looking for the hot deal that's going to magically make them rich, and I think that's insane. It's insane. Opportunity mentality, not lack mentality, and not lottery mentality. When did that happen to us, Jeremy? When did that happen to people? I think it happened in the 80s, perhaps, because in the 60s and 70s, people, 50s, 60s, 70s, people came back from the war and they had those jobs, and when the companies changed and the marketplace changed, we forgot that it's up to us to change to meet the marketplace. It's not up to the marketplace to change to meet us.
It is kind of fitting. I mean, and the dawn of the web boom and more people being exposed to it, because you watch it every day. I've seen some serious marketers that, like, I had a lot of respect for, jumping around from company to company. We were kind of briefly talking about it before we jumped on, and I watched them drag these people through the mud, and people just follow. And people are like, one day they love a product, the next day they hate a product, or this one's better,
Love this pay
or
plan, hate this pay plan. This is why this is good. This is why
all
this
the stuff
sucks.
become a joke. And I'm like, come on, people. Now, if you leave a company because you have some severed ties or something, I guess my little girl's screaming. That's
okay.
fine. If you've got issues, whatever. But don't, oh man, I hate to say it, don't just jump on something because someone else is making money. There's these big hypes where you get a big old bonus for joining, and join now and you're going to get this money, and you're not going to get it if you haven't gotten it already. Because that's the problem. Jumping into something new, it doesn't mean you're going to make money. It just means you're going to throw more money out the window because, value is king.
I just always looked at it. I built a business around me. It was my little store. Right? My little store, Diane's store. And then I looked for things that would serve my audience, as opposed to thinking, okay, here's a hot product or a pay plan. I'm going to push my audience into this. I did it the opposite way. I built an audience of people, and I said, well, what do you need? What can I help you with? What are you looking for? And then I found things that met them. And that's how the rest of the world works, by the way, Jeremy. Stores, like you go down to Macy's or a big department store, they have things called buyers, right? And the buyers go to all the shows and look at all the options, and they think about, this is our clientele. What are the products and services that they're going to like this fall? What will they like this summer? And whether it's Kmart or whether it's Nordstrom's or really high level, Saks Fifth Avenue, they have that person in that position that's out looking. It's a different buyer base. Kmart versus Saks Fifth Avenue has a different buyer base, but the thought process is the same. What does our customer base want to buy? Yeah. And then here's what's cool. When you put something that people want in front of them, they tend to buy it. If somebody's hungry and you pull up a hot dog stand, they're going to buy hot dogs. If people aren't hungry and you pull up a hot dog stand, they don't. So if you know your audience and build an audience and then put in front of them something that makes sense for them, they're going to buy it. And then it's up to us to provide great value, etc., so that people don't get distracted by the next thing. And if they do, were they really part of it anyway?
No.
You know, if there's a guy still chasing rainbows and unicorns, okay, there's nothing you can do until he figures out that, you know, I know he's following the unicorn poop trail from program to program, but, and we sound a little rough today, I think, you know. Guys, I love this profession. Changed my life. It, you know, I can't tell you what it's been like bringing up children in this profession. So I think sometimes we get a little frustrated watching hijinks.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful world. And
I mean, you can't work a job and be able to speak your mind and give value. You have to follow a guideline. You have to do what the boss tells you to do. And in this profession, in this space, especially when you build value and you build people that want to follow you, and you can just be you. And I tell people all the time, if you see me at an event, if you see me at the store, if you see me at the Walmart, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be the same person there as I am.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just
People
who I
always say
am.
that to me. You're just like you are in your videos. Well, that's me on the video. That's me here. I'm the same person. But that wasn't so not so many years ago in this profession. A lot of people put on a real big show. You know, it was very, you know, everybody suited up and happy clappy and slapped each other on the back. And I think that's why we were made for this time in this place, Jeremy. Because video.
I was a classic newscaster. I'd wear my top dress stuff up, and I'd have shorts on underneath. Because you can't see me below the video.
I do that. You know my other favorite trick is if I'm cutting a lot of videos in the same day, I'll wear like black, like I'm wearing right now, and then I have all these scarves, and I just throw different scarves on. So I'll cut 2 videos with one scarf on, then I pull that one off, and I put another. So it looks like it's all different days. It's all the same day. I'll do 20 videos in a day with all these different.
Scarves now.
Yeah. I often have pajamas on down the bottom. Now I'm so bad now that I actually do webinars from bed. And in fact, that particular entity that I said I do some webinars and trainings for, one day I didn't feel good, and I was like, screw it. I was going to cancel, and I was like, forget it. I'll just do it. And I'm just laying in bed, and I look like death. And I'm doing a webinar training. I'm like, guys, I don't feel good. Don't like it, leave. And everybody was like freaking out, and they thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I'm like, I don't feel good.
It's this profession. You get to be whatever you want to be and do whatever you want to do, as long as you get value. Don't be an idiot. Don't go out there trying to just scam people. But as long as you get value, people are just very receptive. And that's where I found, no matter what kind of knuckleheads you deal with throughout the time, you know, I've dealt with quite a few knuckleheads, but the majority of the people, they just appreciate it. They appreciate real people, and that's why, like, I definitely appreciate you, is because you are real. You don't tenderfoot around things. If something needs to be said, you say it.
And you know,
I respect
sometimes
that.
it's interesting because I get interpreted a lot of different ways. I feel like you're a parent, clearly from your cup we can tell. I'm a parent. My daughters are 18 and 21. It's not my job to be my kid's best friend. It's my job to bring them up. It's my job to be their mother. Now, I love hanging out with my kids. I just spent the weekend with, you know, my 18-year-old. We had a blast. I love hanging out with my kids. I love doing fun stuff with them. I love traveling with them and everything else. But it's not my job to, especially at this age, right? They're right at the cusp of flying. So I have to make sure that they're equipped. Okay, I have to equip them. So I feel the same way about people that entrust me with their business. If they come to me for consulting, or they're, you know, coming to me for help, you know, yeah, I'd love to go have a you know, glass of wine. I'd love to see you at an event, and I'll dance on the dance floor with you, and we'll have a really good time. But when push comes to shove, I'm going to equip you, because it's my job. You either paid me or hired me, or maybe you're just coming to a free event, but you showed up. You expect me to equip you. So me making believe that lollipops and rainbows and unicorns, and you're magically gonna, you know, you didn't do any work this week, you didn't make any sales this week. Show me a business that makes no sales for a week that stays alive. Do you know of any? Because I don't. So when people sit and they tell me I'm thinking about this, or I'm working on a video, or I'm working on my blog, or I'm working, is not in the present. What got done? How many cash sales did we make this week? If we didn't make any sales, you're going to die. And if that's not the reality that somebody wants to hear, they probably should go learn from someone else. But I bet you anything that person is going to be upselling you all day long.
No.
Because they know the position that you're in. See, I'd rather tell you to go than sit and milk you, because I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to bring you up. That's simple. I'm not a back rubber.
I said something the other day to somebody because they were asking me, what do you do? And I'll ask you, and what do you do when somebody says that they'll give it 30 days? How do you get them to want to stay? I said, I don't.
I don't. I don't sign them.
If somebody tells me, I'll give 30
over the internet. High five me. Put your hand up. Wow. Right?
I'm just like, get out of here. If you're not serious about it, if you're not willing to give it a year, I mean, honestly, if you're not willing to put a year into your business, then there's no reason that we should even talk, because it's just a waste of time. You're not serious. 30 days, 60 days, I mean, you're signing your death wish. You're here's my resignation now. I know I'm signing up, but I'm going to go ahead and give you the money in advance and just quit. That's what I tell them. I'm like, look, if it's the way you're going to be, just go ahead and send me $500.
I know, right?
And then go do something else. It's easy.
Here's what I've learned over 15 years, and I know you know it too, and that's why you don't want the guy. My time is more valuable than the money. Especially the more progress you get and the more proficient you get and the more you earn. $500 in the beginning is a lot of money. $500 in one transaction is a lot of money, and it still is. I'm never going to knock a transaction where I make $500. But I also know that the time I have to spend getting that guy started is worth more than the $500 plus the grief, because if he comes in with that standpoint, he's generally going to be somebody who I can never give him enough no matter what I do. He's going to complain about me, and he'll go infect other people that are happy. So $500 is not worth anything once you progress. And the trick is to learn to think like a multimillionaire before, so that it can actually show up. And that really is, it's a thought process about how valuable is my time and how valuable is my knowledge. After this many years, my knowledge is pretty darn valuable. I mean, I just came off doing another $250,000 launch in 3 days with no preparation, no videos, no websites, nothing. 3 days, $250,000. It's not bad, Jeremy.
Right, say that sounded really sexy. Start back to this whole mindset thing and say that all over again. As impossible as that seems, I mean, it's the going thing. I mean, you've got to think it before you can be it. Yeah. If you don't think you can, you never will.
You have to believe that you're there today. Act as if and go as though. My mentor always said that. Act as if you're there today and go as though it's happened already. So when we speak, when you keep using the term give value, and I like to, and this has nothing to do with you, but I always like to poke fun at that term, because a lot of people say it, experienced marketers say it, and unexperienced marketers are like, what does that mean? It means help someone, dodos. It's not that hard. Do something that helps the guy behind you. Share something that you learned that made a difference for you. That's what giving value is, okay? Providing something, when I sell something, if I sell it for $100, it's worth at least $1,000. Making sure that it's more valuable than the money that's exchanged, if we're talking about an exchange. So we have to walk in, we have to enter as if we're already there. And this is so hard for people. I've watched people with PhDs turn into little wrecks when they come into this industry. Yeah. It's like, look at you out in the other world. You're a professional, you have years of education, you make great money, all this other stuff, and they come in and they're like a bowl of jelly, like, I don't know what to do. And I've watched other people that have no background, maybe they were digging ditches or something, they come in and they have the right stance and the right posture and the mindset, and they crank to the top. Mm. I've watched people, I've literally seen people who were illiterate when they started. I've seen people with every kind of disability under the sun. I've seen people like myself. I had no marketing budget. I love when people tell me, well, I don't have a marketing budget, so I can't do this and I can't do that. And I'm like, I had no marketing budget. I needed $40,000 to qualify for broke when I started. I wasn't broke. I didn't qualify for broke. I was like, just to get to ground zero, I needed that much money.
You were so broke you didn't afford to pay attention.
Yeah, that's right. I had no money. So when somebody tells me what they can't do, I'm like, that word doesn't register to me. It doesn't.
when I first jumped online, that same thing, because I was like 10 feet below loser. I mean, everything I had, I lost. I really had nothing. We were living in this squander of a little cardboard box, and when the deal came to me, I had to come up with $1,000.
Yeah.
And today, people like gawk at $100, but I had to come up with $1,000, $997.
And you did, didn't you?
I pawned everything I had. I looked for anything that I didn't want. I sold it. I went to the flea market. I went to the swap meet. I tell people all the day, they're like, I can't do nothing. I'm like, cut out your Starbucks for a month.
Yep.
You know, follow the Compound
Get rid
Effect
of
by
your
Dan
cable
Hochman.
TV. Horrors. Cable TV?
Yeah,
I can't get rid of my $300 cable bill.
that's the
Cut
best
down
thing
on
ever.
your
Yeah.
cell phone. You don't need all that stuff.
No.
Stop with the
Yeah.
pizza every day and stop with the this, and that. I didn't have cable TV for 14 years, Jeremy. I cut it out when we started, and then nobody wanted it back. And then finally, when they changed the system locally, it was actually cheaper to get the TV than not. So now I DVR some things. But I didn't have any of that stuff for years.
No,
I
we cut it off.
eliminated it all. I went down to bare minimum because my dream, my desire, and this is what I get back to about that opportunity mindset. You saw the opportunity and the things didn't matter. You got rid of the things. I saw the opportunity. I didn't focus on the I don't know. I just saw the opportunity. I saw what was possible. And most people can't see what's possible anymore. That's scary to me.
Yeah.
That's scary. There's kids come up, they grow up and they're so comfortable that they have nothing that they want to go for, that they I don't know. It's just nuts.
Well, I watch a brilliant artist who has so much freaking talent to do stuff and just sit there and squander it because they don't think that they can. Or they want to settle for doing a job that's very minimal for their talent because they don't believe in themselves enough. And that's just a job mentality. When I got into this, as dirty as it is, I'm about to get really dirty here.
Okay.
I was sold on the Ferrari, on the big house, on the lifestyle. As cheesy and stupid as it is, that's what I was sold on, because I'm like, I'm living in a box. I'm seeing this and I'm like, this is possible. Like Diane said earlier, she watched these idiots making all this money and like, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to crush this out. And that's what I got sold on. I'm like, as cheesy, as stupid as it is, and God, I hate it now. Now,
But here's what's cool. Jeremy, you have to, one of the reasons why I love it, I don't like triggering people's greed to take their money. But I love triggering people's greed to help them dream. We all have greed. Okay, guys? We all have it. It's just part of us. We all have that thing. When we were a little kid, we take the other kid's ice cream and have double. You know, we all have it. We all covet something, right? So I don't like to trigger people's greed to take their money to abuse them. But I love triggering people's greed, and that's what happened to you. Your greed was triggered. That made you want to go for it. And that's really kind of cool. You know, painting a lifestyle and showing people what's possible. I don't like when people fake it. I don't like baloney. You know, I see a lot of people, they got a lot of baloney and none of it's real. I've seen that a lot. But I also have a lot of friends that earn millions of dollars a year. I do pretty darn well, but I hang out with people that earn millions. Can you imagine earning consistently? I have friends that earn $500,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
$500,000 a month. Okay? And I can see that being real because I can see them. I can touch them. And it's real. It's possible. That kind of turns me on. And when they're able to show me they bought an island or something, I kind of dig that. Now, if I'm showing you I went on vacation from Groupon on a discount and I'm trying to make you believe this is my island, and I spent $6.98, to go to some cheapo resort, and I walked over to the fancy one on the beach because they couldn't get in the main gate because the guards would have stopped me, and I make it out like I'm staying at this place. That's not cool.
No. You see that all the time, too.
Well, again, I've been around long enough to know people always give themselves away. And the average guy doesn't realize it, but I can see the telltale sign. And the other thing, too, is you can only sustain a lie for so long before something happens. That's why I really make it a point to never lie about, I mean, we have a great lifestyle, but I'm also paying college tuition for 2 kids right now, cash.
Yeah.
So I may not be going as hog wild right now because you pay college tuition for 2 kids cash in 1 year, and you see how much it costs more than most people's annual income to pay for your kids to go to school. So it takes a bite out of the lifestyle. Yeah, and I'm real about that, because what am I supposed to do? Just sit here and go, I'm dripping in diamonds and jewels and everything? No, I'm paying thousands and thousands. That bill is like, and plus my older daughter has an apartment, so I'm paying rent for her, and it's a lot of money. I make a lot of money, but that's a lot of money. So it all.
But the thing of it is people laugh at me. I got this whiteboard. I don't know if that shows up all my little daughter's drawings on my wall.
Oh, I love it. I
would never erase this crap.
The best thing
ever. You need to paint your walls. I'm like, the hell? No. What? This is like a mouse right here. She was drawing Mickey Mouse for me. So that, my dear, is artwork that will last a lifetime in my house.
See this wall? They call it my famous purple wall. My office, when my kids were little, my room is next door. We have 5 bedrooms in our house, but we have the kids upstairs with us because they were little. And then when they got older, they moved downstairs. And I painted these walls purple, and they used to have Powerpuff Girls and stuff all over. And I haven't had the heart to paint it yet. So everybody's like, why do you have this like fancy, they think it's a backdrop, like one of those photo backdrops.
Yeah.
But it's literally the walls, because this used to be my baby's room. And that means something to me, and you can't see it now because I moved some of them, but here, I'll grab one. One time when I went away for a weekend, they put butterflies all over my wall because I like butterflies. So my walls are covered with, I'll put one back here again so people can see my walls are covered with butterflies. And again, it's been a while, and I probably should paint it. But I'm a mama. My babies are flying. I like my butterflies. So someday I'll make them mauve or whatever the popular color is this week.
Yeah, and that's a brilliant thing to talk about, because here's the problem. Everybody says you gotta show your lifestyle. You gotta live larger than life, and you don't have to. You can just live. You can just.
Jeremy, you know my lifestyle is free. I ain't got no boss.
Exactly.
I get up when I want to get up. I go to bed when I want to go to bed. If I want to travel, if I want to do whatever I want. That's my lifestyle. I don't need stuff. I need love. I need people. I need my family. I don't need stuff. If I want stuff, I go get it.
The last time I'm getting ready to go to an event, and I've got to like wear like a tie or something. I'm gonna be so uncomfortable. I am a t-shirt and basketball shorts guy. Seriously, that's all I ever want to wear, because I just want to be comfortable, man. I don't want to dress.
Go get one of those nice Robert Graham shirts. That's what all the MLM boys wear. The ones with the fancy cuffs.
Yeah.
Todd Falcone and everybody wears those. Go get one of those. I
actually almost got one. I was like, nah.
But at least it's a shirt and not a tie, No,
I'm gonna wear a tie. I'm gonna take pictures with it. Just so everybody can see that I have wore a tie once in my life, other than when I was married. I did wear it when I got married. But
where are y'all going for the event? What city are y'all in?
Salt Lake City.
Okay. Mecca,
going to the Mecca of MLM.
Mecca. It's beautiful out there. You been there before?
No, actually I haven't. I'm really excited. I love the scenery.
Beautiful. It is stunning city to go to.
I'm excited.
Everybody can go and take lots of pictures, because I love those mountains. It's gorgeous.
I just ordered my new GoPro so I can actually film a little bit more.
Do like a 3D thing. I'm in.
Yeah, right.
Like do the turnaround. Walk outside your hotel and do the turnaround. Let me get the full view.
All right.
It's beautiful.
We're right in the heart. There's a lot of skyline photos, and I want to figure out where they were at to take that skyline photo.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't have so much crap, I'd take my good camera, but.
Yeah, I've stayed out more in Orem and places like that, so I haven't been in downtown. So get a picture of the tabernacle, too, for me. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I keep not getting down there. That's cool.
I'm excited about that. It's going to be fun. And that, again, goes back into the lifestyle of being able to do these things. Because it does cost money. It does take commitment. But
of course it does.
While we're talking about that would be something actually very valuable. We talked about it last time on a hangout with my team. What is the power of going to events?
Oh, gosh.
because people go to meet you and to see you personally, so that's even better for you to talk about it. But what for you is your first event you ever been to?
Yeah, let me tell you guys about why I went to events when I started. Now I go to events because I'm usually speaking at them or networking. But when I started, first of all, I wanted to build my belief, and I knew that that's where it was. Okay, if I could go and watch the stories and see the people and be in the middle of it. And I grew up in a very, very, very big company, so their small events were like 300 people. The big events were 30,000 people. So it was a big range. And often international, which is really cool. My kids got to go to these events where there were people from all over the world. They met kids from everywhere. It was really cool. But that's where your belief is built, guys. Also, events will jack you up because there's usually a new announcement or a launch of something and everything, and it gives you juice. So you need to get to events. If there's one every 90 days or whatever it may be, you got to go because that's what revives you. Because out in the world, everybody's beating you up and telling you it's a scam or it doesn't work or there's a pyramid or all that junk. So you got to get with the people that are moving in the same direction as you and kind of just recharge yourself. It's like plugging in your cell phone. You plug yourself in for the weekend. But I got to tell you, the biggest reason why events became so important to me is very early on I understood the importance of networking and getting with the people that were really moving and shaking. Okay, so I figured out how to get into the suite parties and the different parties with all the top earners because I knew if I wanted to change my mind, I had to be with people that were earning millions. I couldn't hang out with the guys that were struggling because that's all we did. If you hung out with the struggling guys, what you do is you sit around and you talk about how you're all struggling. Gee, that's
masterminding with the same people.
Yeah, let's mastermind about how broke we are and how we're struggling and how nothing works. And that's what most people are doing. So I was always looking for how to connect with players. And then I'd always find a way to do something to serve them or help them out so that they'd always go, well, come on back. We're all hanging out at this party or we're all going here or we're all going to dinner. It was over those dinners. I mean, I literally got to I got to go to dinner with Jim Rohn I don't know how many times with like 20 people. This was back in my day. I got to go hang out with the top earners in the company all the time. I got to go on trips with all these people. So, and today, when I go to generic events that aren't from my particular programs, that's also where you're going to meet your future partners, the people that you're going to run with in the future. So getting to events it's so important. And guys, I went when I was broke. I went, can I tell one quick story about an event that was pivotal in my career? In fact, it's interesting because there's a full circle. I don't remember what year this was. I had first qualified for, they always had qualifications for special parties and stuff. And there was a black tie party. We were at Epcot Center at Disney World. The event was at Disney World, and they took you in a back gate, and we were all dressed in gowns, and we went to see the fireworks at Epcot. The only problem was I qualified, but I had no money, Jeremy. I was still paying off all my debt. So I really couldn't put a bunch of money into a dress and all this other stuff. So I split a room with 3 other girls. So there were 4 of us in the room. I brought I was selling nutritional products. So I brought shakes and bars and stuff to eat. So every time it was lunchtime or time for drinks, I would magically disappear because I'd go eat my stuff. And then I bought a $26 dress on clearance at JCPenney. And I wore that dress to this party with all these people that were making millions, literally. And I remember thinking to myself, this is where I belong, in a $26 dress. Fast forward, I don't know however many years, I was invited to speak at an event, and they didn't tell us about a special speakers dinner. And by this point, I'm very successful and doing very well and speaking on stages in front of thousands of people. And the surprise party was on that same patio at Epcot Center. And I sat there watching the fireworks, and I sat there crying like an idiot for forever. And people kept coming over going, are you okay? This was like, I was with like Dagan Smith and Mike Dillard and all these guys, and I'm crying. And it was because I had realized that dream, and I had done it. And it never would have happened if I hadn't bought that $26 dress at JCPenney. And that event, I remember the one before that, we were at Nashville too. I used to I had my protein bar was my food for the, that was what I could afford. I had no money. I had no money to buy a soda in the arena. I had no money. I would have never, ever made it if I hadn't gone to those events. Ever. Ever.
Yeah, that touches my heart. Yeah, because
I've been there, sitting up there dreaming, looking down and going, I'm going to be on that stage. I'm going to be on that stage. I've spoken in front of as many as 15,000 people, Jeremy, and I remember the day I did it, and I said, I knew I'd be down here. I'd be here.
I think Zig Ziglar is the one that said it. Well, I know other people have said it too, but in my sphere
Now I
of
have you paranoid. Don't I have you paranoid? Right,
well,
from our
I
conversation
hate
before.
to misquote though, really, I do,
No, it's
but
okay to say it. I think I'm not sure who said it, but somebody said it.
yeah.
That's cool.
But
As long as we
I
take
know
it.
Zig said it, but it's
Yep.
saying, look, you can either serve the classes and live with the masses, or you
Yep.
can serve the masses and live with the classes. And that for me really opened up my belief pattern. And at the same time, I was getting into law of attraction, the secret, and all this stuff, and my mind was just going, here's this poor ghetto kid who's never amounted to anything stepping into his greatness and seeing it before anybody else would ever believe it. People ridiculing me, calling me an idiot, making fun of me, and all this stupid stuff. Why are you getting on camera doing something? You're nobody. Well, I've got value that somebody else can hear. And in my belief pattern, I just knew that I knew that somebody would hear me, someone would appreciate me, and I would be able to change somebody's life.
And it only
And
needed
that's
to be
what it was
one.
about.
I tell everybody that all the time. If you make a video, make it for that one person that needs to hear your voice today, because they can only hear from you. I wouldn't be in this industry today if my husband's cousin hadn't said to me, do you want to try this product? And because he's the only one that I could have heard it from. Nobody could have recruited me. Nobody could have signed me. And it's funny because he's not in the industry anymore. I am. And it was because I was the one. And if he hadn't told me, if I didn't know, I would have never known. There's one person waiting for each and every one of you. Be a walking reward. That's what my mentor used to teach me. He said, you're a walking reward for 10,000 people. You just don't know where they are, so you have to go out and, I call it climbing to the highest rock and singing your song. You got to go up there and you got to sing your song, and somebody will hear it. And then if somebody likes it, they'll tell someone else and someone else. And the next thing you know, there's 20 people listening to your song. And then there's 20,000. And it happens. It's a combustion, which goes back full circle to what you said at the beginning. We talked about why are people gone and why do people stay. It's consistency. Because when you're consistent, you pick up business, you pick up people, you pick up followers or fans or customers, whatever you want to call them, and then at some point it snowballs. And that's when it becomes, it's called the fulcrum line. You get to a point where there's growth, and then it hits a certain point where it can't be stopped and it becomes exponential. And people don't realize that, and they stop right before they get there because they don't think it's enough. If one person heard this today, Jeremy, it'd be worth it for us to do it, right? If the message that we gave today hit one person, and maybe there was 1,000 that watched it and they didn't think anything of it, but one, and what happens when we spark that one person, because that all comes back around to us, the energy comes back and the success comes back. It's very cool. It's very cool
I
stuff.
sat there and, I was told at one point in time, and I got pushed off track because I do things. I don't care how many people watch. I don't care how many people interact with me. To me, it doesn't matter because, like Diane said, it's just that one that I'm doing it for. It's the one person that is in my heart, in my mind at that set in time, because that one person is going to tell somebody. And the next thing you know, you've got friends like Diane Hochman, Lisa Grossman, Curtis Broom, David Wood, Mark Hoverson, all these top earners that you want to be like. And I've done nothing for these people. And I say that
Yes, you
before
have.
because...
That's not true.
Well, it's... I go back to what I said before when I said I am not involved with anything Diane does. I'm not knocking it. Actually, I've sent people to her direction because if it's not for me at that moment in time, or if I'm not in it, I'm not just going to buy something to sell it. That's just not. But I'm going to send them to people that I know, like, and trust, and I care about, and I know will care about my people. And that's how I've been able to do things that I've done, go places that I go, because I have one person that joined somebody else in another company, and then I joined something else, and they're like, man, I've been waiting for you to join something new, to do something that I could actually join.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Diane. I'm just waiting. I missed one thing that she was doing, and I feel kind of stupid, but I was out of town, so I missed your latest launch.
Oh, the thing that, you know what? That's I'm very excited about that project, and I don't know that we'll ever do that project in that form the way it is right now, but what I do know is that this is the foundation of the next stage of my career. It is my life's work, and I encourage you guys all to go to the mentorship letters because it's an integral part. I mean, I just offered a course. Nobody can buy it, it's too late now, but I offered a course on some of the stuff that I do, and the mentorship letters is up that same vein. My passion, and that's why when you said I've never done anything for these people, you have. What you don't understand is a guy like you out teaching and training and helping people is what moves us the most. At least me. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know some of my friends that you just mentioned. Yeah. It's about this profession. We love this profession. This profession changed our lives, and we want more good guys and girls out there singing the song. So we can't all always work together because not every product line is going to be the right fit, or not every opportunity is going to be the right fit. But we all do work together when we're doing the right thing and bringing it out to people and helping people and changing lives. And so I always call it white hat and black hat. And, I try to be very open-minded because I think that it's easy to fall into judgment. I know I have in my career. So we never know what's what, but we do know that there's some people out there that are just getting excited about anybody that's getting free. And there's other people that are out there just trying to sell as much as they can as fast as they can. And again, I'm not going to sit and knock somebody selling because I like to sell a lot. I like to sell and I like to do business. So it's very polar. But over time, this industry offers hope for people that are without hope now. We're seeing a huge influx of young people coming into the industry because they're coming out of college, they're coming out $100,000, $200,000 in debt, and they can't get decent work. They're finding this, and they're finding success with it. There's lots of retirees that are coming into the industry. They've been employees all their lives and realize that they just don't have enough, and this is giving hope to them. That's what we're here for. And this whole infighting insanity about my program's better than your program, I'm seeing it all over the net, especially. It's just a flux lately of, I joined this program and it's the best program ever. No, it's not. There's never a best program. What there is a good match for a person. Does this match you? So we just haven't been in a place where there's a match, but you've done more for me than you know, because you're doing the thing that I love. And that's why I adore you, Jeremy, and that's why I like your cup, because you're a daddy and your family's first, and you got yourself out of that little, whatever you call it, cardboard box of a place into a home, bringing up your kids and being with them. And not many daddies can say that today. No. Not many daddies at all.
And let's do one big bubble here, because I want everybody to understand, because number one, there's a few ladies on here that were asking about copywriting.
Mm-hmm, sure.
And they are actually, I think, on your list already. But read what she writes. Read what Diane does. I mean, Diane's like the queen of attraction marketing. She makes you want to buy. And I mean, it's so hard for me because I laugh about it. I was telling somebody the other day, it's so hard for me not to buy from you. But I know I can't take it.
Didn't you tell me that you wouldn't be on my list? You or somebody told me I can't read your stuff. I'm like, why? What? Can't read your stuff. I'm like, not that.
And it's nothing knocking her company, please, because everybody's gonna know who. I do not knock any company. It's just at this time I've got One Direction.
Yeah.
I don't want to sing One Direction.
Yeah, you don't know you're beautiful. Don't sing it. Na. Okay. Anyway.
But, part of me wants to buy just because I love being connected to Diane, period. And it's something inside you, and it's through writing, it's through the value she gives. And, again, today's value. You're on a free hangout with the one and only Diane Hochman, who is just a powerhouse, and I'm telling you, I have a lot of respect for you. And there's so much value she gives on a daily basis. This is things that I learned from for free. Like I said, I had to come up with $997 to get into a program, which was a freaking scam and a half. But I had to come up with that money to get it in.
But it's a blessing, because learning to release the money is half the battle, right? Learning to release what's in our hand and letting go of it so that more can come into this hand. You guys can't see my hands, but that's one of the biggest lessons. So even though it wasn't the right program, it taught you to stretch yourself to find the money so that you could release it. Look at how much more has come to you since then. Exactly. Isn't that crazy?
uh, Darren Hardy, The
Yep.
Compound Effect,
Yep.
and that book alone can change your life, just teaching
Big
you to
time.
release stuff and
Let
understand.
go.
Don't buy, don't buy, don't buy. Just let
Let go.
go of some of the stuff and figure out how to place it in the right direction. And had I not put myself in more debt trying to get into this industry, I would have never found people like Diane who do give value, who do share their heart about what they're doing, and give you hope in the right direction. There's always going to be the knuckleheads giving you hope in a wrong way. Buy this product and it's going to make you $10,000 here. Let me watch my students earn all this money, and you get in, you're like, there's nothing here of value at all.
Can I teach one more thing? I'm sorry, you got me so excited. I get so passionate, I can't help it.
Do it.
You just said something that I think is such a big deal, and I haven't talked about this, and I need to make a video about it. You just said I went further into debt so that I could figure out how to get out.
Yeah.
Okay. My mentor taught me this line, and I always hear him in my head. Okay. The line is, and you guys might want to write it down, you got to get in to get out. You got to get in to get out. So imagine you're in a job that you hate, and every day, it's like Monday, today, you're grumbling as you're going to work. I hate this. I don't want to go to work. Well, the only way to get out of that job is to do two jobs, basically your business plus your job. So you got to go further into work to get out of work. Okay, does that make sense? You got to get in to get out. So the same thing with debt. If you've gotten yourself into a cycle of debt, okay, now I unfortunately got myself to the point where I had no more credit. There was no more. that was the wall. Okay, the wall. But if you're in debt, but you know in your heart that something's worthwhile, guys, don't jump because it's the magic bullet. But if you see something that you know, or for example, getting to this event, I know it's last minute, but some of you guys haven't made the decision to go to this event, and you still could. You still could. So a lot of times with events, it's one of those things where it's worth to go a little further into debt, because the shift that can happen will be the very thing that can get you out. Right now, I'm in my own life, just to be transparent. You know, I know that I have some stuff going on. You know, I gained some weight and stuff, and I realize that it hurts when I start working out, right? So it hurts. So I'm in a little bit of pain, and so then I grumble. I don't want to do it. But if I don't go all the way in, I have to go into more pain to get out of pain altogether, because otherwise I'm just achy all the time. So it's you have to get in to get out of everything. And whenever you're stuck in something, you literally have to go further before you can come back. And it's such a deep, profound philosophy that has worked for me over and over and over. And you just said it, so I couldn't help but want to share that. You know, I was taught this, but I know that the person who taught me didn't make it up. It's probably in Proverbs somewhere or something, but it's really profound. So if you guys are on the fence about that event, it's not too late, especially if you're in driving distance. It's I mean, unless the tickets are sold out, I don't know, but it's not too late to get there. If you guys are, you know, I don't know about the different levels in your program or something like that, but a lot of people hesitate. When I first got started, I started at the basic level, and then I knew that if I went to a different level, I could make more money. I had to figure out a way to buy that so that I could earn more income. So it's really, it's a big deal. Want to get in?
I've got this out to a lot of different people. This just isn't my team in general. So, you know, there's somebody out there right now that's sitting on the fence of their program. Like I said, we're not here to bash. We're not here to stop. We're here to promote you into the right direction.
Yeah, whatever.
If you're sitting there and you know that this company is for you, and that you know that these products will change your life, sitting there not doing something is only going to push you further back. Take the leap of faith and just trust.
Yeah.
And just put all into it. And that's the thing, going back into the consistency thing. Jump into it and just do it. Don't worry about if one person's watching, two people, because later on someone's going to watch you, and they're going to be watching you. Because I think it came down to actually Lisa Grossman. You know, I met her at an event and had no freaking clue who this woman was. No freaking clue. And I mean, I would have never thought she was who she was. She's a nice lady. And I really appreciated her. And later on, I come to find out who she was, and she reached out to me one day, and I'm like, oh my God, she's reaching out to me. And I was so freaking stoked and so excited. And it just came down to the fact of there's two things that you can do. You can dream. make a plan, which is a goal, is a dream set to a timeline, and go after it. See it before you actually do it. Be that person. Or you can find something you hate, focus on that, and live a life of hell.
Yep.
So it's either or, your choice. But
what you focus on expands. What you focus on expands, so it always will. So if you sit and focus on what you hate, that's going to expand.
Yep. Exactly. It's a mind shift. And your mind's going one way. Somebody, because I talk to a lot of people, they're focused on this one thing, and that one thing is hurting them. Whether it be their lack of copywriting, whether it be their lack of blogging skills, or not knowing SEO, or they're always
I don't know any of those things. That's why I'm laughing. I mean, like, people say, oh, you're such a good copywriter. I just write stuff. I've just been writing stuff for a long time. Like, it's like if you're a cook. When you first start out, you chop, you slice, you dice, you make something. It's okay. And then you learn to add a little seasoning, and then you learn to do this. And over time, you become a good cook just because you do it consistently. Yep. So copywriting, everybody wants to take a magical course and become this crazy copywriter that closes. I don't know anything about SEO. I call it LMNOP-EIEIO. Love it. I'm glad people know it. I don't know anything about it. I have a blog, and I write on it once in a while when I think I can help some people out. I still have a great Alexa rank because a lot of people come around because I built an audience, but I don't know anything about blogging, and I certainly don't know how to optimize my things. I don't know how to optimize my videos. I just when I want to run my mouth, I cut a video and I put it up. It's when do you, people are always like, well, what time of day do you write your list? I don't know, when I have something to say. How many times a day do you write your list? I don't know. If I have nothing to say today, I don't write. If I have something to say once, I write once. If I have something to say twice, I write twice. How do you know what to say in your videos? I don't know. I ask people what they want me to say. And everybody's sitting saying, I can't because of this, because of what I'm lacking. And if everybody would just focus on, there's one person I could help today. What can I tell them that would help them today? And then just go tell them in a piece of content. And if you did it 365 days a year, before you know it, you'd have a library, and guess what? You'd have traffic and buyers and people going, I love what you said in your video. And then they'd come to the event with you, and they'd want their picture with you. And that's why I like you, Jeremy, because you're just down to earth, man. You're just...
And that's most of the...
Your graphics. You made me look so good in that little poster thing you made. I got to suck up to you and get you to make me some stuff, man.
Yeah, there you go. I like that idea.
I'll suck up to you. What can I do for you, my friend? Because you do something.
You're doing it right now. I'm enjoying this. Anytime that you can... I'm trying to think. When I got started, it was with programming. Mm-hmm. One of the very first videos I ever did was about computer programming. Mm-hmm. Someone asked me a question, and I said, oh, what the hell, let me get the book out, and I'll go over your homework assignment. I'll do the assignment from the book live. And that turned into a few thousand views, and people just started coming out of the woodwork about this one thing, and that's where I learned just help somebody.
Yep.
And the more leaders you speak to and the more people you follow, you see that they are just helping somebody. Whether they use the word we and us and our, they're actually talking to him, her, that specific person. And that's exactly what I do. I get a phone call. I get a tweet. I see a message. There's my daily video. There's my daily post or daily rant. Whatever I want to do that day, I do whatever I want. It's my life. It's my world. If people are going to like me, they're going to like me. I'm not going to pretend to be somebody else because I can't. I'm a horrible liar. God, I'm a horrible liar. So I got to be me. I got to be real. But consistency, that's the first and foremost. That's the win all, make all, break all, and belief. What would you say next to those two things would be the third most important thing?
People focused. People focused. A lot of people are focused on a technology, or they're focused on, they're not realizing. Here's another great line, that was taught to me by my mentor. The money that you want is in other people's pockets. Okay, the money that you want is in other people's pockets. How do you create something or provide something that makes them gladly and happily want to give it to you? I added that part. That part is mine. Okay, he always said the money that you want is in other people's pockets, and people got they felt like they were pickpocketing or something weird. So it has to be people focused. So people will spend hours. My line is, human nature hasn't changed. Technology will always change, but human nature hasn't changed in millennium. Okay, so people spend a lot of time focusing on learning stuff that's going to change, and I like to focus on what is timeless. People are timeless. You can read advertising books from the 30s, 40s, and 20s, and they're relevant today. And you can go watch some people's content about internet marketing from a year ago, or courses that people bought from a year ago, and they're irrelevant. They're outdated. So people focused. It's always about the people. What's the win-win? I like a three-way win usually. I like win-win if I can win and they can win, but if there's a third party, win-win-win. If I'm going to win and they're not, no good. And if they're going to win, and this is a big lesson for people, if you're martyring yourself for other people, and they're winning, but you're losing your time, or you're not making enough, or anything else like that. That doesn't work. It's not correct. So it's got to be win-win or win-win-win, and consider yourself worthy of a win. I think I'm worthy of a win. I'm worthy of making revenue. I'm worthy of having trips and winning prizes and all the things that I do. I'm worthy. So I have to win, because otherwise, then you have resentment. If you do stuff that you don't win on, it's only a matter of time till you resent. And that resentment builds up and it gets ugly. It's not good.
I always like to look at it, I can win and I can get to the top and make a crap load of money. But if I'm standing up there all by myself, looking down at all these people underneath me crying and beating their head against the wall, it really brings me no joy. And I don't give two craps about money, and anybody that knows me knows I don't care about money. Materialistic things, I just don't care. I still got my same truck I've had for years now because I just love it. I don't want to get rid of it. New one might be good, might be better, but I love that truck. I love my things. So if I'm going to do something, I got to love it. I got to be all in or nothing at all. And people focused is probably, I hate to say any of these are 1, 2, 3, because all three of these things you should be doing anyway. Be consistent. Change your mindset. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want, and just focus on helping other people. If you can give some type of value, whether it be a kind word, a nice message. If you're trying to build up your engagement on Facebook and you're liking somebody's post, just don't be fake. Be real.
Yeah.
Be real with people, and don't be afraid to share somebody else. Like, a lot of people get worried. You bring somebody like Diane Hochman out. Oh, she's going to take your people. She's so much better than you. I don't care.
It's not possible, Jeremy. That's people live on a plane of competition. You transcend the plane of competition. There is no competition. You can't stop attraction. It's like you could be engaged to a girl, and if she meets somebody the next day and she falls head over heels in love, you can't stop that. I mean, you could try to say, you gave me your word, but you're going to spend the next 25, 30, 50 years miserable. You can't cage people. All you can do is become better. No. When people are worried about losing, Jim Rohn said, don't ask for things to be easier, ask for you to be better. So there is no, you can always tell a pinnacle leader because they'll cross-promote with other leaders, they'll work with other leaders because they don't have that fear of losing. You can't lose an audience that's truly attached to you, and you can't gain, you can't gain people. You can't steal from someone, I mean, you can run around on a cheesy plane and do that, like I'll buy your way into my program and all that other stuff. Nobody ever dares say that stuff to me. They're afraid of me. But all that junk that goes on, everybody's afraid of me. I don't know why, because I'm just a love bunny, but maybe because I speak for truth and integrity that people get all like worried. But that whole, if somebody's willing to buy your way in, people like me, Lisa, we would never take somebody buying our way in, because then we wouldn't be the same as the people. It wouldn't be right. There's a whole spiritual component to all this stuff. How am I supposed to sit here and tell you to spend $3,000 if I haven't? Yeah. How am I supposed to tell you that this is a great product? That's why I decided to invest in it when I haven't. So on and so forth. Now, I'm not saying that we don't exchange services based upon, like Jeremy, if I called you up and said, hey, could you do some graphics for me and I'll give you my course, is that is that something that interests you? That's normal. That's value for value, something like that. Or Jeremy, would you do this for me and, I'll do that for you or something. It's exchange of talents and skills. That's cool. People do that all the time.
The country was formed, or the world, a barter system. So
Yeah.
I actually think that's brilliant stuff.
This is value for value, whether the value is from revenue, from income, money, coin for product, coin for product, or product for product, or service for service. Who cares? You do my roofing and I'll do your driveway. Great, let's go. As long as it's a equivalent value set, why not?
Down here in the South, we calls that the good old boy system.
Exactly, and it ain't no different here, but people get all bent because they're like, all the gurus hang out together and they always do all that stuff together. Well, it's because we all work and we understand each other, and we all just, like somebody calls up and says, I'm doing this promotion, do you fit it in your calendar? Sure. Somebody else says, hey, I got something going on. Okay. It's no big deal. Everybody else is busy getting cheated, and their whole mind is about what they're losing out on, how they got cheated, and how nobody helps them. And in the meantime, people like us are sitting here. I don't know how many free trainings a week, and then people write me that I don't pay any attention to them. I'm like, where were you every day? Had somebody this week asked me to spend special time with them and their group and this and that. I'm like, I started this particular webinar for you. I've been doing it for 2 years. You don't show up no more. Now you want me to take some of my time to go spend with you when you haven't shown up for the thing I did for you in the first place. I said, I kept my word. Where's yours?
Yeah. It's all about integrity. I mean, and that's one thing, if you really want to make it in this industry, is do not waver from your integrity. When you do, you will fall. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Because, you see it all the time, and I've watched so many people come and go, and people will slam you, people will say things that you don't agree with or that could hurt you or any of this stuff. Just don't listen to these people. Live your life with integrity and do what's right at all.
I just think the universe, I was taught early on, I used to get all like, well, they're doing this and they're doing that, because I was like everybody else. And I was told they'll be gone in a year, just sit down, go back to work, don't worry about it. I was like, how could you say that? It's so wrong what they're doing. And they were like, no, don't worry about it. And it's true. The universe will correct people. I don't need to. I don't need to sit in a corner and gossip about them. I don't need to worry about them. I don't need to get bent about them. If somebody doesn't want to be on my list, don't be on my list. If you don't want to watch what I say on Facebook, don't watch what I say on my Facebook. If you don't like the way I talk, you don't like the way I walk, you don't like the way I smell, sometimes I smell. It's okay. That's what attraction is about.
Get rid of the knuckleheads and keep the people that actually do good.
And here's the question: it's not that everybody's knuckleheads; it's that people aren't matches. It's some people like some colors don't go with other colors; they look bad together. Some flavors don't go well together. Like if I do beef stew with, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something gross to put in it. Pickles. I don't know, something that doesn't go together. They just don't go together. It doesn't make pickles bad, and it doesn't make beef stew bad. It just means that they're not a match. So there's lots of people, there's certain programs that don't appeal to me. There's nothing wrong with those programs. Some people will bash those programs or not like them. It is what it is. It's not for me. Some people like the idea of working something, making a hit, and turnover. Flip, flip, flip. They like it. They like the challenge. It's a lot easier to do that than build a team that sustains. Let me tell you, the people I respect the most are the ones that have those huge teams that can sustain them for year in, year out, and make millions. It's a whole different skill set. Some people like, the flip. Some people like the money game type of thing where as long as everybody knows what the game is, it's not for me to judge. The problem is when people don't know what the game is. You know what I mean? Like you get a chocolate bar for $10,000, and we have the finest quality chocolate bars, and they're $10,000 because they're made from gold and platinum, and they have chocolate in them, and they're coated with whatever. Jeremy, would you like to buy a $10,000 chocolate bar? Now, when you sell a chocolate bar, you're going to get 9,000 of your 10 back, and when you sell the next one, you get 10, whatever. If you want to do that, and you know what the game is, and you know that a chocolate bar is not worth $10,000, but that everybody agrees that this chocolate bar is, be my guest. The question is when we take people and tell them to sell their, get rid of their retirement income properties to buy the gold chocolate bar. that they can't sell another one of. That's when it gets funky. You know, some people like products and they want to go out and sell products all day. Sell products. You know, you want to sell diet pills, lotions, potions, shake mixes. Other people like services. They don't want to deal with product. Other people like, you know, I don't. Who am I
The
to?
point, though, I mean, is to know the game you're in.
Correct, and to decide whether is this a game that I like. Some people want something with a lot of community, with a local presence. Some people want something that you never have to talk to people, you know, except on the internet. You know, I had babies when I started. Going out at night was hard for me. So I didn't want, you know, I didn't want to do meetings, you know, and people told me I was wrong. And I was like, look, I figured out another way to do it. Now, you know, now we have this technology. It didn't exist then.
Yeah.
Whatever's right, just do your homework and figure out who's the pinnacle leader in the space that I want to get into. You know, what do I want to do? Who do I want to serve? And most of all, what lets me lay my head on the pillow at night and sleep well, knowing that I've done something good. So, you know, I don't tend to judge programs. I tend to judge behaviors. And I shouldn't judge at all, but I can't help it now and again. When I see something that I think is abusive, I'm likely to say something. Recently, I saw somebody just destroying another person that they were upset with in public. And I was just like, what's up with that? It's so unprofessional. Now, I know they have a disagreement, and I know some people think one guy was wrong and the other guy was right and this guy was wrong and that. I don't care. You don't do that in public. You pick up a phone or you get together or you just block each other and don't talk anymore. Yeah. What's up with that? And so I said something, and then people got mad at me. And I'm like, you don't even know who I'm referring to, first of all. And second of all, there's no circumstances that I can think of that slandering someone in public is acceptable.
Yeah, I don't like the slander, but I will go off on rants just because.
I like a rant. Do you understand? You understand the line. I like a rant talking about what you feel is right or making your statement. I like that. And then there's another thing where you're slandering a person, defaming them, altering images of them. You know, like you're a talented graphic artist. You could do a lot of stuff if you wanted to, Jeremy. You know, you could paint me with horns and a whole suit. No, you know, you could paint me
as that on my free time.
Well, I have never seen you posting it. Maybe you do, and I'm not sure. But there's whole websites dedicated to slander, and it's like I don't.
People love to hate, and that's just so. If we had more love of love in this world, we'd be a lot better. But people just love to hate. They're just so miserable, and it comes back down around to like family and all this stuff. And people are so scared when you start succeeding, especially your friends. And I've lost so many friends, you know, that don't even like me or associate with me on Facebook anymore because I'm doing so much better than they are.
But were they ever your friends, Jer? Were they ever? Were they ever
really,
your friends?
But you know, it's just in somebody's mind, they're like, "That was my friend when I grew up. Why do they not like me?" I really don't give a crap. If somebody doesn't like me, that's more room for somebody else to come in.
If somebody, and I appreciate that, and I totally get you, but on the flip side, if somebody isn't excited for your success, it's okay if they don't want to go down the same road, but if somebody, like when I see people and they hit it, I'm just so jacked. I mean, I could sit here and I don't really mention the people that have been through my calls over the years. I've been doing this for so long. Many people come up to me. I have numerous seven-figure earners that have partaken in training and different things. They've all come up to me and hugged me, and I don't use their names. I don't make a fuss over because I didn't really teach them the skill set that they utilize to do that. I taught them mindset and different things. But I'm thrilled for them. I'm thrilled. You know, I could sit here and go, oh, I'm mad at them because they did something bigger than me at some point or whatever. Why? If I touch someone at any point in any way and they go, or if I played hopscotch with somebody or baseball or whatever with somebody and they've gone to the distance, cool. Just cool.
No, I'm not a fame whore, but like I do love when I know I've helped somebody succeed. Whether they show me gratitude or not, when I watch people do exactly what I taught them to do and they make it, whether they like me or not, whether they appreciate me or not, whether they shout my name out, I don't care. But in that same setting, I love knowing I did that.
Yeah.
I helped that because
very
it means
often
it's working.
the bigger one gets, the more likely it is too that people that we've helped, they turn, and they actually get angry. Well,
Hmm.
so they go on and they do well, but they're actually angry with us. It happens all the time. If you sit with any big earners, it happens all the time. And it's part of the game. It's just like kids grow up, and some kids get mad at their parents too, and they don't want to talk to them. Why? Their parents brought them up, and they're who they are today. I don't know. It gets dysfunctional. It gets weird. Happens. But I know who I worked with. I know who I was with. I know who came to my calls. I know who has written me letters in the past, and maybe today they're mad or something like that. But I have it all, by the way. So I know who I helped.
Yeah, but it's good, and for me, it's I come from a very dark place. I mean, growing up all the way until now, I was raised in a very, very, very poor family, and I had a single mother, and I sit back and I've looked at all the things I've done wrong in my life, and that's what I was taught to always look at all these things you've done wrong. That's what you deserve. And when I finally started looking at all the things I've done right, that's what I like to focus on.
Yep.
And I have a story of this lady Diana on my team, and meeting her at an event has warmed my heart more than she'll ever know, because all I did was talk to her. Just she came out of nowhere. She came in late. She looked uncomfortable, like she was nervous, and taking the time to talk to somebody and knowing that that had an impact in her life.
Yep.
She had no idea who I was. She knew nothing about anything, and it's little things like that that get me fired up every day. When all these idiots want to spew their hatred, I don't care. I don't pay attention to it. People talk about me behind my back. Oh, well. It just
Who
means
talks about you? You want me to smack them around? You want me to?
I'll give you my hit list.
I will. I will slap them upside the head. I will strain them. I saw you write something the other day. I'm like, who is it? I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna go beat them up.
It's just idiots, and there's a few in every bunch, but people get mad, they get hurtful, they just because someone hits a home run in baseball, and then they get mad because they got a single. Well, that's not fair. You got a home run, and people
Human
just
nature.
get jealous over stupid stuff, man.
Human
Stupid
nature.
stuff.
Do you know who Dale Calvert is? You know Dale Calvert? Dale Calvert's a network marketing legend, but really of the 90s. And Dale's still around, but he doesn't really work in network marketing anymore. He does a lot of affiliate stuff and everything. And I have some great old VHS tapes of Dale ranting on the stage. He owned a very large company at the time. And Dale would talk about, it's at every meeting you go to, and this is meeting time, so today it will be on Facebook. He goes, there's this crowd that's going and blowing and working, and there's people up on the stage and people doing the product sales right and everything else, and then there's one crowd in the corner going, look at what she's wearing today. Who does she think she is? And he did this whole hysterical talk about these people, and they gather together. And I always tell them, I'm like, beware of the coffee clutch in the corner that wants to sit and critique. Yeah. Because they're the most dangerous people in this game, because they will sit and they will tear and and I watch a lot of people that even have a good level of success on Facebook, and they talk about this stuff, and I think acknowledging haters is almost as bad as being the hater. So it's something that we all may want to work on, because what happens is we're giving them more energy. The more they know that we're annoyed by them.
Yeah.
The more energy we're giving them, So I mentioned to you before, I did a project. I was a little disappointed with some of the, I've supported a lot of people. I was a little disappointed. It was just timing and things, but I was a little disappointed with some of the folks that came around or didn't come around, and so on and so forth. And, a lot of people were out of town and so on and so forth. But I could sit and I could just make a big fuss. I could go on the internet and go, ah! Or I cannot, because I give energy to what I look at. Whatever I stare at, I become. So if I'm staring at the drama, if I'm staring at the people that do things that I don't like, and I have to police myself even after 15 years, because there's stuff all the time that I type things. I have a new rule. I type something on my profile, and then I have to let it sit for a minute and come back and look. I pop another tab up, do something else, I come back and look at it and go, is that queen-like? Is that regal? And I've been deleting an awful lot of stuff lately. So
I do it on a Word document, because I accidentally submitted it or sent it one time. And I was like,
Luckily,
oh
have they?
man, there's a lot of cuss words in that. I mean, I went off on somebody, and I was just like, I had to release it somehow
Yes.
because I was really holding on to a lot of aggression. And I tell people this all the time: open up a notepad, open up a Word doc,
Yep.
something, type it up exactly what you want to tell those people.
Yep.
I mean, everything. Cuss them, say you're going to break their neck,
Yep.
break their nose, everything, and then
Yep.
delete it.
Release it.
Let it go.
Release it.
Because, the more you hold on to that stuff, the more you put emotion behind these feelings, the more you're going to create more of that. And that is, I try real hard not to rant too awful hard.
We're all human, We
Sometimes
all
people-
have this. I like a rant, though, Jeremy. You know
Yeah.
me. I mean, the mentorship letters is full of rants
Yeah.
that I gave everybody before. I don't know if you've read any of those, but if you haven't, you should. And I don't sell nothing in there, so you don't have to be worried. There's nothing for sale in those letters. Like I said, once in a
all
blue
value.
moon.
Even your main subscriber list, it's all value.
But that particular set is really designed to cause us to question a lot of, like, as I grew up, I was corrected by a very strong mentor. My thought processes were corrected. I had a lot of lack going on. I had a lot of resentment going on. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I'd always get mad at him. And here's how you know that you've moved to another plane: when you're willing to let people be mad at you. I'm not like my kids. I'm not. You want to be mad at me? Okay, be mad at me. I'm going to go in the other room. I don't care. So if student wants to be mad at me for a while they're coming to recognize something is true, that's okay. But those letters are designed to push on thought processes that we have that I had to break myself as I was coming up, because I was also chasing. When I first got on the internet, I saw these things, and he used to pull me back by the collar and go, "Don't go there. If you go there, you'll be done in a year."
Yeah.
But I watched people making a lot of money, and the irony is they're all gone. All those people are gone, or they've moved in other directions. All these different things that he taught me, and other teachers as well, not just that one teacher. And so I've put them into these letters, and the letters push on processes that we have going on in our brain that are really hard to break. They were very hard for me to break, and I still today, I'm always looking for. That's why I go to, we keep bringing up Lisa. I go to Lisa a lot, because she's one of the few people that I can go to that has a lot more experience than me, after being around a long time. And I can tell her something, and she never lectures me. She just gives me her wisdom. So I'm always seeking mentorship myself and going to people that have that background, because when you're seeing something for the first time, it can cause a lot of emotion. After you've seen it 20 times, there is no more emotion. There is no more. Somebody could say anything they want about me. I really don't have a lot of emotion about it. The ones that hurt me are the ones that I put my heart and soul to, and then they bite. That hurts. That hurts. But if somebody just doesn't like my style, or says I'm a loudmouth, or this or that.
Yeah, I don't care about those.
Somebody quits on me and goes somewhere else and talks about me.
No. It's good value. Now, we've been on here a while.
Yeah, I know. We get carried away.
I don't want to keep too long, but I do have to change I got to get the cheese out. I told you.
Oh, we didn't do the cheese. I thought we did the cheese. What's the cheese then?
All right. What, my dear, would you say would be your favorite drink?
Alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
I prefer alcoholic.
Okay.
Fun.
I
really, I have
to admit, and I said,
what do we order you?
Over the years, it depends on where I am, because over the years I have become a little bit of a wine snob. I got introduced to some nicer wines and learned more about it. So I really like a really good Cabernet. But if I'm at a regular place and they don't have a good Cabernet, I'm going to go with a margarita with salt. Or a vodka soda. I like flavored vodkas, though, so like a raspberry vodka soda with some limes in it or something like that. But I'll do Crown and Ginger, especially if I'm hanging out with my girl Angel. That's what we do. But, I'm flexible. It depends on the environment. And it depends on whether it's hot or cold out. I know that sounds weird, but some drinks are summer drinks.
Yeah, true. Some things warm you up, and you don't want to be warmed up.
Well, you don't want to drink something heavier, a whiskey or something like that in the summertime in certain ways, and then in the wintertime, like sometimes that vodka soda, it's just cold, and I want something. Yeah. What's yours?
Honestly, I'm a vodka man all the way. So if I had a preferred drink, like I used to, we have our own little energy drink, so I like to mix this with it.
Yeah.
But cranberry and vodka probably my favorite things. And I always used to say I use the cranberry because it helps flush it out.
There you go.
Just an
We're going to get along just fine. We'll get along just fine then when we hang out at an event.
Yes.
We'll get along just fine.
Yes, we will.
That's
Okay,
good.
so you're jamming out at your house, or you're doing a project of some sort. What kind of music would you have playing? What would be that song that fires you up?
Okay. You guys will laugh, but I was a Spanish major in college, and I love like Latin dance music if I got to jack up, because I can't sit still if that goes on. So, and I have like on my iPad, I just have an app that I get music through, and I just hit the browse and I hit Latin pop, and I'm just like, right now it's this Enrique Iglesias song, Bailando. I like Latin pop music to dance around the house like an idiot.
That's
So,
funny. I never would have
so if
guessed
I
it.
have to clean my house, I have to put that on, stuff like that. I had it on this morning. My daughter's like, "Oh, Mom, stop." I'm like, "Get over it."
Let's dance. Come on. We do crazy stuff at the house.
I swear I was Latin in past life, but I came out this life as a very, very white girl. But I was Latin. And I was a Southern belle. I'm sure in 2 lives, I was definitely Southern, y'all. I was Southern through and through. I'm a high maintenance Southern lady. Yes,
I can see that.
I
I
was.
can see that.
I don't know
Especially
when that
being
was.
out
It
in-
might have been in the 1800s or something, but I definitely was Southern. Mind you, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. And I say y'all all the time, and people always make fun of me. And they're like, "Where did you get that from?" And it came from Spanish class, so. Because
Well,
you
I
have to
mean, it's
say you
becoming
guys.
such a widely used word now. I have all my northern friends saying y'all.
Yeah, you got it.
Because
It's
I
cool.
guess I say it. Everybody says it now, so it just depends on how you spell it. Do you do the Y apostrophe ALL?
I've never
The
spelt it, so I don't know. I haven't contemplated the proper spelling of y'all. I just say it. So, yeah.
All right, so we hear that leaders are readers, and that is, I know to be true. What was the last book you read, and why?
I just downloaded a new book, and I feel terrible because I can think of the name of it, but I can tell you in 2 seconds. Um, it's Feed a Hungry Crowd. Is it Hungry, I think? Brand new book, marketing book. I don't read fiction. I don't know how to read fiction. I have learning challenges. I'm just looking for this book.
I do too. I can't stand it. My mind goes
I don't read
round.
fiction. I have no interest in reading fiction. But my favorite book to read over and over and over is A Course in Miracles. I keep that on my iPad. I keep it on my cell phone whenever I'm riled up. That's what I read. The name of this book, because it's got some really good fundamentals for novice marketers. So Course in Miracles is one of my favorite books to go back to. I like the workbook, actually. It helps me whenever I'm agitated about something, I go back to that, and it reminds me that none of it is real. Okay, everything that we're feeling is just emotional reactions to things that don't really exist. A lot of times we're interpreting things, and it's kind of funny because I can sit and interpret what somebody was, like, for example, with my launch. I could have sit and interpreted that a particular person wasn't very active in promoting it, and I could have been upset. Come to find out, the guy was in the hospital. So would it have been wise for me to interpret, or would it be wise for me to just, and by the way, that comes from the 4 Agreements, if you guys haven't read it. But I could have sat and I could have stomped my foot and I could have been mad and then found out later and felt terrible. Instead, I just worked with where I was. So, but I'm still trying to find this guy's book. It's pretty good.
Brilliant, though. I mean, the problem of it is we make things up either way.
Correct.
Whether it be true or whether it not be true, we make it up with how we feel at the moment. And that's the worst time to make any kind of rash decision on how you really think about something. Because, guys in the hospital, I had one case that I had people supposed to come over, and somebody's supposed to help me, and they didn't show up, and I felt alone. I felt like I was pushed out, and this person didn't care about me, and I really let that play out to the point where I lost a relationship. And all along the way, they just had the days mixed up. Because it was actually
it was nothing personal. It was never personal at all. And that's messed up stuff, and that's something that we really have to worry. If you guys haven't read the 4 Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz, Read that book. It's so simple. It's 4 things. Make your word law. Go through it. It's such a simple, easy read. But that will change the way you look at everything. And all this stuff. Whenever I feel myself getting emotional, I always go back and I look and I realize that it's often. Now, sometimes you're right. Sometimes we're right.
No.
But very often it's not the case. And that's the part that is, wait, where am I? Come on, digital orders. There. I'm still trying to find this book because I think it'd be great. Feed a Starving Crowd, not hungry. Feed a Starving Crowd, Robert Corey, Coorey. It's available on Amazon. He actually launched it. It was like a 99 cents or something. It's an ebook, but it's very good, and he's a very experienced marketer. Ran with Dan Kennedy a lot. So.
I love that stuff. Yeah, I got to say my new favorite book is not to just blow up Eric, but it's definitely GoPro.
Oh yeah.
That has helped so many people, just simplicity. Yeah. And people overcomplicate everything. So I love for people to put it into perspective. That's why I love watching you and Lisa, because it's just very simple.
Prospecting is simple. It's just asking people questions and finding out whether they might be in a moment where they're looking for an opportunity, and then showing them what you got, knowing that for most people the timing isn't right or the product or service isn't right. Exactly. And if we get to that place where we're comfortable with just talking to people and finding out, sorry, I just turned a phone, finding out what their situation is instead of hanging our hopes on every single person. And Eric calls it when it's high noon. If you've had contact with a person and they liked you, and especially if you put them on a little email newsletter or whatever, then when it's time for them to make a change, you're the first person on the top of their head. It's high noon for them. It's the moment. And we have to grasp, if we were a real estate agent, you wouldn't think, I wouldn't think, if I just became a real estate agent, I wouldn't call you up, Jeremy, and go, hey, you want to list or sell? You want to list or buy today? How many people are listing or buying today? Yet I need to talk to everybody I know and let them know I'm a real estate agent. I'm looking for their referrals for anybody who wants to list or buy. So why in MLM are we under the delusion that everybody wants to start a home business today? It's delusional.
No.
So Eric is spectacular. I will be at Eric's event, of course, in Vegas. Are you going to come to that? That would be a great place to.
I'm trying really hard. I don't know if the tickets are still available or not. I didn't get on. We had my wife's having issues flying right now, so we have to get that. She's a terrorist. That's the whole point.
Oh, is that it? They won't let her on the planes. I see. They won't let her. Okay.
Yeah, so we were having issues with that, and I missed the ticket sale.
Did she hit someone with a shoe on the last plane or something? Did she take off her shoe?
Yeah. That's why I told her. I said, it's sad that you can't even get on a plane.
It's the shoe
But,
thing.
I mean, they even told us because we hadn't got her passport updated, so she has no photo ID except for this expired license, and they took it. And now it's just a piece of paper that says you'll get your license in 21 days. So we're like,
so she doesn't exist, kind of, in a way.
Yeah. Well, she exists if you run through a system, but especially with 9/11 and all this other stuff, she can't travel this week to go with me to the event, and it's looking risky for anything in the October range too, depending on when they actually. It's a pain, man. It really is. So.
Wow.
Let's see. I think I got everybody's questions. I wanted the funny, cheesy stuff.
I like the cheese. The cheese was more fun than anything. The cheese is good.
I like it too.
Hey, can I give people one more tip? I know we keep going.
Yeah,
Guys, I am not a natural reader because I have some issues with reading, and it's really okay to just read 1 or 2 pages at a time. It really is. You guys don't have to, a lot of people are reluctant to read. The other thing that's great is nowadays we have podcasts and all kinds of other stuff. You can grab your content through those mediums, and a lot of them are free. But it's okay. It really is okay to read 2 pages. And then put it aside, and the next day read 2 pages. You don't have to read a whole chapter. I also have a game that I like to play where I go to my bookshelf. I have all my business books and my self-development books and everything on the shelf. I close my eyes and I run my hand down, and I wait until I feel something, and then I pick one up, and then I open to a random page. And there's always something magical there that day. Yeah. So start to build a library, and you guys can do that. It's really cool.
So I like ultra reading. I like being able to just pick up 2 or 3 books, read a few pages, and then write something.
I'm often reading a couple books at a time, and not heavy reading them up, but picking them up. But if you were to add up everything I've read over the years, especially marketing stuff, I love marketing stuff. I'm weird that way.
Yeah. I mean, one of my biggest favorites, and I actually keep it on my book, and this is so lame, It's PHP. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
me
I don't do
too.
web design anymore.
I like to sleep with that under my pillow, Jeremy, because I really like that. Yeah.
But I mean, I got these random books, and I mean, the books that mean the most to me, I actually keep them right here on my book. These are all the ones I always keep.
There you go.
And just because if I need something, I'm lacking inspiration,
Yep.
maybe I'm in a foul mood, I go read one. I just pick one up and I read something, and I go watch
Great
a
for
train.
content too. A lot of people think they have to make everything up. It's okay to grab any one of your books, open to a page, find something cool, and then go, "Hey guys, I'm reading Darren Hardy's Compound Effect, and on page 122, I just read this, and let me read it to you, and then tell you what I'm thinking about." Guys, it's okay to make content about your opinion about something that you read. That's quick and easy. You can do it every day, and it just encourages. It goes together with your own personal development. Why not share what you're learning with somebody else? And then if you want to monetize it, go get an Amazon affiliate account and link to the book. So now I mean, you're only going to make 4% or whatever on a book, but now you have a way where you can talk about what you're learning. You can share something cool with a person, and if they don't have the book yet and they want it, they pick it up, you make a buck or whatever. It's not a bad scam, Jer. It's not a bad scam, you know?
All right, so while we're talking about that, like for me personally, what would you do? Well, let me say, for me, I keep this here for a reason. Because when I get stuck or I'm just like in la la land, I can't think of anything, I read something totally off subject than what I actually do now. So I do have a reason for having a web design book there.
Cool.
But it helps me to change my thought pattern of I'm stuck, I can't think of anything to say right now, although I have a ton to say. But what would you do, and we'll wrap it up, what do you do when you get to that kind of brain block?
I stop. You know why? Because I trust in inspiration, and I know that sooner or later something will inspire me. So what am I gonna? I DVR some shows. You know, like my new show is Big Time RV. Everybody knows I'm shopping for an RV. Not really, but I've been watching this Big Time RV show because I'm looking at luxury RVs because I'm gonna go on a road show one of these days. So that's it's like mindless.
Party?
Yeah, it's like a half an hour show, right? And all it does is it shows you luxury RVs. I don't really have to be, you know, I just sit down and watch it for a half an hour. I'll grab a cup of iced tea, and I'll just sit there and watch it, and it just totally shifts me. But I walk away. Okay. But guys, there's some things I do every single day, no matter what, day in, day out, every single day. I write my list. Every single day I meet 10 people, and every single day I create a piece of content. Okay, sometimes I like over the weekend I did like 20 videos in a day, so I can goof off a little bit. But because I just got inspired. But I do that like it's like religion, Jeremy. It's like brushing my teeth. So therefore, if I'm not feeling like heavy duty into work at a certain point, I just stop because I've created that freedom for myself. I also believe in going with flow when you feel it. You know those days when you feel inspired. Like right now, guys, the reason why we went for 2 hours is we know we're jabbering too long here, but we're inspired. We're just having fun. If he had to go or I had to go, we would have gone. You know, I would have given him the high sign like I got to go.
Yeah.
But I don't get to hang out with Jeremy that much. You guys are just witnessing us hanging out and having fun. But when you get inspired, go when you're inspired. If something washes over you, Mark Hoverson wrote something the other day about all-nighters. You know, sometimes I get inspired and I'll stay up all night writing. I'll write like 17 mentorship letters in a night because it's just flowing through me. It's the force. It's going. Another day I can barely, I can't. I have nothing. So I just take the day off, you know.
But I like that though, because a lot of people won't admit to it, and that's what's so funny is when they hit these roadblocks. I just like to change things up and like totally do something totally different. And that's go outside, it's play with the kids, because I still got young kids, so my daughter is obsessed. So enjoy life.
Jeremy, so many people, and it used to be worse, because one of the things I always hated about some of the folks that I was working with, I love them, but it was always like everything was perfect and we're happy. We're always happy. We're never down. We never get overwhelmed. We're never worried about anything because we're happy. All I do is pop another one of our pills and I feel great. Drink another energy drink and you're ready to go. I don't like that. I live in the real world. I live in a place where I have learning disabilities. I suffer, I have a tab of, I get down in the dumps sometimes, I'm a real person, so I teach people how to work around it. I came up in this industry with 2 little kids. What happens when your kid's having a temper tantrum? You know, what are you going to do? Put them in a closet with a bowl of food? No, you got to tend to your kids. You know, what happens when this? What happens when your computer breaks? What happens when this happens? What happens when, you know, stuff happens? So I like to talk about how to work around it as opposed to making believe that nothing ever happens, because that's ridiculous.
Last summer, we had rain every single day. We were so flooded here in North Carolina. My internet was going off because it was causing trees to uproot and
Yep.
just kill over. And we were losing power like once or twice a week. Internet was going out, 2-3 days at a time. And I was still doing videos. I was still doing Hangouts. And I mean, it was the crappiest thing. My computer blew up. And I was hitting such a wall in everything in my business because it's like everything was stopping. My computer wasn't working, my camera went out, the microphone went out, internet was going out, and it all spawned from these storms. We had an electrical shock, and it blew it up. I got a new computer. I did what I had to do. I dealt with the sucky one. Hell, that's why I love this mobile phone, and I do so many videos on my phone now, because I could not access a camera on my computer. So I started getting so used to driving and using my phone and just holding it here and just talking. Now it's become my thing. It's my niche. I hold a camera like this as I drive.
Right, and it came out of necessity. It came out of, people ask me stuff like that, oh, why do you do it this way? I don't know. My power went out one day. Or why do you do it this way? I don't know, because I stopped, there's all kinds of reasons, and it's just a matter of keeping going, because there's still people out there that need your help, whether something's broken or whether you got a flood or whether you got this or whether you got that. A lot of people just go, oh, well, my business stopped. If it flooded, did people stop working in North Carolina because there was flooding? Did they shut down every company in North Carolina? No. People went to work. I mean, I grew up in New York City through blizzards, through transportation strikes. You had to get to work. The subway wasn't working. You had to figure it out. Everybody carpooled. They figured it out.
Yep.
Figured out.
And here's the powerful thing. If you watch this webinar again, and I hope you do, because I'm going to. Diane's gave a lot of value here. Is just realize if you're gonna do it, you got to jump both feet. You can't just put your toes in the water and think you're gonna do something. You got to jump in. You got to dive. So if you're sitting on the brink of your new life, your new story, it's time to jump in so you can write it. You can think about things all day long. You can wish for things to happen and have hope, but hope doesn't pay the bills. Taking action does. And I love it because you got to get in to get out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to remember that one.
Isn't that a great one? You got to, guys, the other thing you got to do is all you can. I have a great video. Go search for it on YouTube. Just put in Diane Hochman, all you can. The universe, God, however you like to talk about it, I'm not here to discuss with you how you want to talk about it, but guys, it recognizes when you go all in. Are you kidding? That's why Dave Wood uses the term all in. It recognizes when you, and guys, I don't mean all in with your credit card. I mean all in with your being. When you are doing all you can, in that moment is when the universe will tilt and what you need and want will start to show up. If you're doing it halfway, it won't happen. It won't happen. It has to be all you can. And there is not a player that I've ever met, anybody who's full-time in this profession, that didn't do all they can for a time period. Once you do all you can and sustain it long enough, then you can do what you want. So it's all you can for what you want. But there's a time period where you have to do all you can. And until you do that, for 90 days sustained, doesn't matter.
That's awesome. So much power. So on the ddtwakeupcall.com/live, I've got the links up at the top featured. So go to the mentorshipletters.com, sign up for that. I've got the email up there. You can just email Diane.
Or they can go to DianeHochman.com, either way.
Get on that, facebook.com/Diane Hochman Training. That is the actual page. Yeah. So definitely go like that and share some love there and share it with the world. And Diane, thank you so much. 2 hours of just bliss for me.
This was pleasure, super fun. Have a great time in Salt Lake. Totally, have a ball.
I'm excited.
Will
I
you
haven't
see?
been to
Will you
Salt Lake
see?
City.
Wait. Will you see? Will you see? The Barneses, Patricia Barnes, and those
I am.
guys. Okay. Will you please, 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 from me, give them a hug personally from me. Watching them has been stunning. I've known them for a very long time, and watching them lately, and watching them just explode and be who they are, and all that they are. It makes me so happy to watch them. So please give them a hug from me, and tell them I just send my very best to them.
I
They're
will.
awesome.
Trisha will love it. She's excited. I love Trisha.
As she
Actually,
should be
being funny
excited.
about it, I'm in her downline.
I remember. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? I remember the day. I remember the day I met them, and I remember being introduced to them as they were like hippie people that wandered around,
Yeah.
and so watching them just like be the epitome of who they are and just loving it up is just it's just the coolest thing, and I love it. I
But
love
it's
it.
true inspiration, and living the life that you want to live and do what you want and build a business.
Yeah. When
Yeah,
your lifestyle is your business, and when your business is your lifestyle,
that's right.
everything will be as you want. It's cool.
That's awesome.
It's cool. Well, enjoy
Good
your
going,
sippy cup
man.
there.
Do what?
Enjoy your sippy cup.
Oh,
Your
I am. I
chipmunk
am.
cup.
I think I'm gonna have to go get the real plastic one now. Maybe get a Dora Explorer next.
Oh, Dora the Explorer. She's my kind of girl. She speaks Spanish. It's cool.
Yeah, exactly. My daughter speaks more Spanish than I do.
Yeah, she should.
She
That's a
starts
great show.
counting. I'm like, what
I
are
love
you
it.
saying?
I love it. I love it.
All right, well, guys, thank you so much for still. We still got over 30% of the people who started the first hour,
No,
so that's
cool.
huge for a
Well,
3
it's time
o'clock.
for me to feed my family, man. I got to make some dinner because
I know,
they
right?
get feisty if I don't feed them. So I'm gonna run
I'm
off and make.
lucky my wife is actually doing that, so I don't have to.
Well, it's my thing. I like to do it. It makes me happy. It's one of my favorite things in the world is to sit them down to a good meal. It's something that I've always dug. So and being able to be free and do that makes me happy. So
That's great.
all right, I'll
Well,
see you
from
later,
the
Jer.
top of the northeast of the Americas and the lower southeast,
Mm.
thank you for coming. And Diane, again, thank you so much. And make sure you subscribe to her, guys. She's got so much value, and a lot of what I do comes from her. So learn. It's okay. Until next time, make it a great day. I dare you.
Bye, everybody.